I'm going to introduce to you a product that we've been working on for a few years now. And my name's John Matlock. I've been working in the software industry for about 20 years now. Built software products for the United States government, federal, built all different types of programs in all different types of languages, in the secret space and all different types of spaces. And one of the things that I did was I combined my knowledge with some of our partners, and they actually have over 20 years experience working in the car industry. Recon Relay, it actually takes you through the entire process. It maps with your inventory, automatically pulling in all the cars. It then syncs up with your iPhone or your Android, and you can actually move the cars through the different departments. And that way you can actually track all the information and all of the time that it takes in each one of the departments for the cars to move through their process. You can chat with other individuals, and you can actually streamline your reconditioning process, and that saves dealerships tons of money. And we actually have a calculator on ReconRelay.com, check it out, and you can go in there and you can actually figure out exactly how much money you'd save if you were to use the software. And look, here's the deal. This program will streamline everything. It actually even tracks to your sales process so that the salesmen can actually go through and they can have fun with the process of selling cars. It gamifies the entire process. Check it out. Basically, when you land on the ReconRelay.com site, you can click on the cookies, but basically it's just accept all cookies if you want to, or reject them if you want to, and that should then load in the main page. So when you land on the kind of public-facing exterior site, you'll land on the kind of Recon Relay, get your cars ready. So this is basically a reconditioning software that does, from cradle to grave reconditioning. So Chandler Matlock's on the line. She was the kind of mastermind of the software and kind of development of, worked with the full development team to build this thing out. And she's going to take us through the entire piece. But once you click on the login button here, then you land on kind of your internal login. And if you have a subscription with Recon Relay, then that will then launch you into the actual full page where you can kind of see the information. So I'm going to pass it over to Chandler, and I'm going to stop sharing. And Chandler, do you want to kind of go from there, take it from there, and run with kind of the overarching demo?
Okay, so here we are, John. Thanks for the intro. So when you log in, you can log in either app.reconrelay.com if you have a subscription with us, or you can go to reconrelay.com and then choose the login button. It'll take you to the same login screen. This is my login. So this is an active dealership that we are working with. And as you can see, when you log in, this is your dashboard. So you're given a lot of good information up front. There's an onboarding process where you can take a digital inventory of everything that's in the car, mark any damage. We'll do a whole series on that on another video. So you can see that there are 0 cars awaiting that onboarding process. And then there are 12 cars that are past the deadline. So this is a good signifier as a GM. If you log in, you know that based on your goal, which you set as an individual dealership, this particular dealership is 5 days. Of the 19 cars here that are displayed in their car line, 12 of those 19 are past due. So they know they have to speed their process up. So this dashboard basically breaks out on the left and the right, or I'm sorry, on the left and then in the center of the screen here. Vehicles by department. So these 19 vehicles, this is where each one is in the reconditioning process for this dealership. The reconditioning process is completely customizable per dealership. So if you have 10 steps or 100 steps, we can add all of those steps by creating departments and sub-departments. This is the macro view of the process. And as you can see, when I click into service, you see there's 7 cars in service. However, within service, there's another few steps: inspect, used car manager approval, and then actual repair. So this gives you the micro look. This also has 2 different views. You can view it in this bucket view, what we like to call, which could be displayed on a large screen in your showroom or your reconditioning department, or you can view it as a table view, which gives you a more condensed version, the ability to move the vehicle fairly quickly into the next department. You can edit the vehicle, add pictures, add notes, and you can also mark the car frontline ready if it's been through the process and you want to send it off to inventory. So once a car is marked frontline ready, it will actually trigger that it has been through the process, and it will calculate your cost efficiency. So it's moved over to your inventory, which is down here on the left. This inventory bucket is made up of both new and used cars, and then the used cars go to a frontline ready bucket as well. So for this dealership, there's 168 used cars available. These 168 cars are also found in the inventory. So it's kind of like you can look at just the used cars that are frontline ready, or you could search both. Okay. So just 2 different ways to look at the inventory. Then it gets moved over and calculated into this cost efficiency calculator. So you can see this dealership.
So just real quick, so if I have multiple vehicles or multiple departments outside of what you're showing here, I can just add them, right? I can add different departments?
Correct.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Yes. So you can add different departments. You could actually go to any of these. So within this certified department, you could add a sub-department if you needed, and then you could add a new main department if need be as well. So then jumping back to the dashboard here, this is a lot of good information for your managers, GMs, dealer principals, owners. Gives you a breakdown of where all the vehicles are, how many are past deadline, how many are on hold, and then you have your cost efficiency breakdown. So this particular dealership has moved 53 vehicles this month. We're on the 26th day of the month right now. They've moved 53 cars, which is a good amount of cars. However, they are only averaging about 22.7 days, which tells us that based on their goal of 5 days, they're a bit behind. And they're actually incurring a cost of around $60,000 when their target cost is around 13. So again, GMs, dealer principals, owners, they come to this page and all the information is provided for them there.
Now, when you say target cost, I'm sorry, Jushan. So when you say target cost, you're talking about that's the target cost the dealership is expecting in sort of the entire process of the car going through the reconditioning process and becoming frontline ready to be sold, so they can make money off that car. So basically, the dealership is using an average that they should be setting as a target, and that the actual is what they are the real cost per month. Can you explain that more?
Yeah, correct. So every car, every used car, every new car, every used car has a holding cost, which is the amount of money it costs to hold that dealership from the time that it's traded in or purchased through the reconditioning process, and then the time that it spends on the lot while it's being waiting to be sold. So this captures just the holding costs for the car while it's going through the reconditioning process. It doesn't account for the then maybe, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 30 days that the car may then sit on the lot and be sold. So the faster you can get this process, the faster you can sell the car. So national average holding cost per car, we're using the national average of 50 with a target goal of 5. So each car should cost roughly $250 per reconditioning cycle. So if you multiply that over the 53 vehicles, you get the target cost of $13,250. However, since they're averaging the 22 days, you do that math and you actually wind up with the $60,000. So there's definitely a lot of room for improvement for this dealership.
And I think if you go on our website, to Recon Relay's website, there's a calculator on there somewhere. So that's pretty neat. We can put a link to that spot. back into
Yeah.
the video.
Yeah, absolutely. We can drop a link to that. And then there's also, if the dealer principal wanted to come in, going from 22 days to 5 days the next month is a pretty aggressive goal. So they could say, okay, our cost is still $50 per car, and we want to get down to 14 days. Using this same model, we have a cost efficiency calculator that you can play with. So if they get this dealership from 22 down to 14, there's another potential savings of about $23,000 on the table if they can start to slowly move those number of average days down. Ultimately, you want to be at about 5 average days. So in addition to this, we have the reconditioning process, which tracks the entire life cycle of the used car from acquisition until it is frontline ready, photoed, stickered, and ready to be sold. We also have a leaderboard, which tracks our sales analytics.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, so this is a pretty cool feature that we have. So for the month of February, so far, this dealership has 69 units out, both new and used. They have 2 days, 7 hours, 34 minutes left for the month to hit their goals.
Connecting back to the entire process is, making sure that everybody inside the dealership is bought into using the software. And that's what really makes it work well. And so part of that is to, map that to selling the cars and who are the leaders in the sales department, and being able to kind of gamify that process, make it fun. You can, challenge and offer awards, beyond just kind of, the software, but, salesman of the month, who's selling the most cars, things like that. And it makes it a lot more enjoyable to kind of use the software and get in there, because you want to log your cars, log the movements, and show how great you're doing, and kind of compete with your fellow salesmen. So it might be a great value add to the software.
Yeah, definitely. And there is definitely a great gamification process to this. This is a previous month for this particular dealership. Pull it up. I believe it's November. So we have these different streaks that people had. Ani was the number one. She had a 1-day streak that month. I myself made the board as well. I had a 1-day streak that month. And then there's different, you can add points, a point value system to the new cars or the used cars. So if the dealer is more incentivized to sell new or used, they can, put a different point system, and these total scores can add up. So you might not be the number one salesman selling the most units. You could actually end up with a higher score based on whatever the dealer is trying to incentivize their team to sell. So different ways you can, gamify the process and encourage people to sell more cars. So very, very cool feature, John. I know you had a lot of insight and input on this. I think it turned out really, really well. We have a calendar feature, and that enables seamless communication between various departments. So a lot of times you'll, find that you have a sold car. It needs to be PDI'd. If it's new, it just arrived off the truck, or it's a used car, it's still making its way through the reconditioning process. And you need to notify and communicate with these departments. So there's sold features and banners that we can put on to these cars. There's different ways that you can display your inventory, either in this, bulk table view, but we also have a big display view where it categorizes your inventory by year, and then actually lists the finance appointments that you have for the day or previous days. So you can see today, on this particular day, this dealership does have an upcoming appointment at 5 o'clock today, and it's this vehicle here. This is their inventory, so this dealership can display this in their showroom. And if a customer came in, was waiting for their salesman, or a customer came in and they were having their car serviced, this could be displayed, and the customer would have the opportunity to kind of sift through the inventory. Oh, what kind of 24s do they have? And be able to look through this inventory and see what that particular dealership has on the lot. From a salesperson's perspective, they can also then mark this car as sold, and they can schedule the finance appointment, list the information. Again, customer could also look at this information and see, various pictures and information about the car. And then they could schedule a finance appointment if they would like at either for this particular day, 6 or 7 p.m. Tomorrow, obviously more slots are available. So that's another cool feature that Recon Relay has, which creates communication between the departments. It displays really well on our iOS app. So if you guys are interested, you can go over to the Play Store, or it's available on iOS and Android, Recon Relay, and this displays very well. So all the departments are able to see the upcoming appointments. If it's a sold used car or a sold new car, everybody has access to see it. So very good communication tool for the various departments. There's different settings within the calendar. Sometimes people call off, or you have multiple managers, different schedules. So you can go in here into your settings. We got really busy. We just hired a new finance manager. Now we have an additional time slot available, but he has an appointment after 4, so he's not available. So very user-friendly. If you try to book an appointment here, you're unable to because there's already one there. So it's pretty cool, easy to use. We didn't like that guy. He had too many appointments. We're going to go back down to 2. Now we're back down to 2 time slots. And again, everything's customizable. It's very easy. You just click, 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 and they're either available or they're not.
Now, can you talk about, so for the finance schedule, and just for anybody who's not as intimately familiar with it, you're basically, that's for you to book with the customer. Like if you're a salesman and you're sitting with your customer and you need to book an appointment with your finance manager to sell the car.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So when you purchase a vehicle, you're either going to be, quote unquote, buying that car now, which people in the industry call a spot, or you're going to set it for delivery, which means you're going to come back, maybe at lunchtime, maybe the next day, or later in the evening. So you'll want to secure your finance spot so that you're not waiting for an exorbitant amount of time. So you'll schedule a finance appointment with your sales representative. They'll communicate with the finance department, get you set up for that appointment, and then the car has to, sometimes still move through service or still move through the reconditioning process. So if those other departments who aren't necessarily intimately involved with sales or finance, they're busy either cleaning or repairing the cars, they also have access to this schedule as well. So they'll know when the car is actually going and how to prioritize their workflow within their building.
Cool.
We also have analytics, which is a pretty cool feature, and I think we'll be able to close with that. So analytics, there's tons of reports that you're able to get in here based on either the vehicle or the department. There's an array of reports that you can run and provide information to your department, see where you need to be more efficient to speed up the process entirely. My personal favorite is the cost efficiency. So you can see per month what your actual cost was and what your target cost is and the outcome. So this particular dealership is having 2 pretty heavy months of loss. So they know that there's something that they need to address as far as their process or their systems go to speed up and make sure that they are faster when it comes to reconditioning. In previous months, we started working with this dealership in June. It took a couple weeks to get our all the data in and everything worked out. So you can see that for the last several months, they have lost smaller amounts of money. Moving into 2024, there had to have been a big change within one of the departments. As you can see, they're losing a lot more this year. So things that they would know that they need to address within their departments to kind of bring that number back down to earth again.
Cool.
So really cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great thing too. I mean, I think one of your ideas, if I remember, is to kind of make this a software that empowers dealerships to get better controls on their costs and better manage the process. And so it's a funny story. We'll have to make it another video, but having a heritage in the detail industry side of it and being a part of dealerships, you know that each department is kind of saying, the other department is the potential one holding up the process. So you figured out a way to map that out through the software, and it's really a testament to kind of you figuring all that out. So I think it'll really empower the financial comptrollers or GMs of the dealerships to get a really good feel on where their costs are going and make become more efficient, and that's really our hope for this thing. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, thanks, John. It's been an incredible journey building this and watching it come to life. As you know, we began with an Excel spreadsheet, and it has morphed into the 21st century to the system that we're looking at today. So it's been a really great journey, and we're very excited to share with the dealerships and to empower them with data-driven information where they can make data-driven results and decisions. So looking forward to sharing this with the community and can't wait to hear how it benefits others.
Definitely. And I think we'll put the link on the ReconRelay.com/savings /savings calculator. And that's how you can get to the calculator where you can really figure out where you'd be at high level if you were using the software and figure out what your savings could be. So it's a good thing to check out. So very exciting stuff. I know we're pretty proud of what's been done. Great work, testament to Chandler as a lead on this amazing project. I think more to come. I think we'll definitely see a lot of the analytics grow as customers report in things that they want to build out, and it'll be interesting to see how the leaderboard shakes out. I think there'll be a lot of play into kind of maybe even making that a social media group at some point. So we'll see more to come on that. Check out ReconRelay.com. My name's John Matlock. I'm one of the founders of this product. I worked with a bunch of different smart people to make this happen. And at the end of the day, like and subscribe to our video, like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and we'll see you real soon. Give us a call.